Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. So I've got a little knee brace here. The neighbors have a pit bull that's moved in, and I've been helping out with him, and he's become like a combat partner. We're like wrestling and fighting each other, and he usually wins. Got a little ACL strain and some other kind of body work. But he's a really amazing dog, and I've learned a lot from him. And it gave me an ability to sort of break away from the song and stop obsessing on the stupid song. And I've been working on the guitar part, but not obsessing, you know. So I'm going to hopefully track this thing and not have a bunch of trouble. I've tried a couple times already, and I just keep getting nervous and tentative, you know. And you got to attack without making a bunch of noise on the fretboard, but you can't be tentative. And you don't want to make a bunch of noise on the fretboard, so it's like somewhere in between. Alright, so what I'm doing is I've plugged in a ribbon mic 8 inches out per Steve Albini's advice, going into a Rane MS1B, turned down pretty well, no phantom power because that'll blow up your ribbon. Then I'm going into input 1. If you go to pan EQ, I'm at 100, and if I make my way over to the master, that's at 100 as well. The effect is no effect. I'm just recording it dry, and I don't usually need effects for guitar, so I don't use them. Only for vocal. Everything else I record pretty dry, except for the snare drum. That I use some kind of effect, like a mic setting, and then the rest of them are just dry. And then later you can add reverb or whatever you want to add. Okay, so this is the little solo bit. I have it in the quack position, so if 1 is the neck, I've got it in the 2 position, which combines the neck and the middle. Kay Mazer and I talk a lot about, friend of the channel, Kay Mazer and I talk a lot about the middle pickup. It's like the Clapton setting, and I think he only plays the middle pickup, but I've got myself in between, which I never been able to get off on the quack. Everybody talks about it, and I wanted to love it. Hadn't found a use for it until now, and now I'm like, oh, this makes it really stand out in a cool kind of way. I remember really loving the guitar sound. I forgot the guy's name, Robbie maybe, the guitar player who played with Robert Plant on the what's the record called? It's In the Mood and Principle of Moments. That guitar tone, that seems very quacky and probably a lot of reverb, but it seems like he was in a quack setting for that whole album. So now I'm into it. I've always been into the sound of it, but I couldn't make it work, you know, for a track. So I think it sounds cool. Right, so we'll see what happens. Huh. I wonder if that actually worked. Let me just hear it really quickly, because I've been in here I kept turning the camera off. I did like a bunch of takes. I'm not saying that was a great take. I was having so much trouble that to actually get through it is a kind of minor miracle. Wow, I think that actually worked. Can't believe it. That's insane. I thought I was going to have to bag it for tonight. I'm not saying it's great. I'll try to top it. Let me just try to top it really quickly. I'm not going to undo that. That was a good one. I mean, once again, those sitting at home that are really good guitar players, I'm not pretending like this is good. I know I'm not a good guitar player. I'm just saying it was working. You know, I'm not saying it's great. Because I understand. there's like this other thing that really good guitar players are able to do. I'm not there yet. I'll try it one more time. Let me make sure my solo is still there. I'm going to cry. But I'm not. It's still there. Alright, let's do see why I was excited for that take. It's not a great take, but I struggled. One more time, and I think I'm going to move on. Okay, so let me just play that track back. That one didn't work, obviously. Let's just make sure the one I did get is good enough, and then I'll move on to the next part I have to record. Hold on one second. Okay, I think it's a keeper take, and what I can do, I'm going to play it back. I can just move on to the other part. All right, here we go. I think it does the trick. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm going to move tracks and swap tracks, leave that in place, and do the next little it's just a little unison bend on that second chorus. I tried to come up with some kind of cool thing to be ripping through during that area, and I'm not a good enough player to come up with it, A, and B, it was stepping on everything, so I just kept a minimalist approach. You'll see. Hold on one second. Okay, as determined, I do believe that that is okay. And all that's left is at the end I wanted to add in these unison bends where it's like brrr, like big Neil Young kind of dinosaur unison bends, like Jimi Hendrix-y kind of. Well, he gets way busier. He never stays on one thing very long, but I do. Simple, just to add some ambiance. And I'm going to keep everything the same as far as settings go. You know, pickup settings and recording. Everything will remain as it was for the little solo bit. just happy I got through that. Happy to kind of like start putting this one to rest, because I'm really looking forward to the next one, because it's a song that it's easy. It's in 4/4. It's like a simple song. I enjoy playing the drums and the guitar on it. It's like a fast, upbeat, just nothing tune compared to this stuff I've been working on. So that'll be a good exercise, and it'll buy me some time to get those other 2 songs ready, and then we can finish this thing, because I just want to finish it. Alright, here goes those Unison bins I promised. All plugged in, ready to go. Oh, and the reason that I went to another track, I could have just, you know, obviously kept it on the same track, but I'm putting it on a different track because I may end up panning it hard left or right, and the live mixing function of panning is not great. That would be one, if I was to say another thing to add to this machine, if they ever make it again, which I don't know if they ever will, but where they have these gain knobs, maybe in front of it or on top of it, have a pan EQ, so that you could do, when you're live mixing, you don't have to be inside that thing trying to, you know, work this deal. You could just live, just the way you would control gain or the fader knobs. Just one more knob up there would really make it a cool thing, because then you could, you know, live pan things, move them around as you're mixing and mastering, and, you know, recording your final thing. So that's something I wish I could do. So to work around for me is just to have another track, and I can hard pan it, you know, and it'll just go down that way if I need to. If not, it won't matter. But that's the cool thing about having 24 tracks, is you can just load up on stuff if you need to. Okay, this is pretty straightforward, and it'll be kind of buried, so it won't. It sounds like it's taking over the world, but it won't. It just sort of is underneath everything. Messed up and added a note. Just try to take it easy and get through this a couple times too, and not have to do it a zillion times. Hit the wrong thing and it just stays. Like, that's what's cool about the sustain, but not good if you can't play. Didn't get the other note enough. If you don't get that unison bend feel, it just sounds like a single note. Let's see, perhaps, if that worked. I know it had a couple sour spots, but come on, it's just unison bends. They're not made to be perfect. right microphone. It seems like it gives a little ambiance. I tried playing some parts. You could go, but I think I like the minimalist thing because then it makes the solo thing start sounding very redundant if I play it more than once, because there's not much to it and I repeat it throughout the solo. So I thought about going back to it, but I just like the kind of simplicity of the Unison bend, and I have that extra little exciter that overlaps, so that could get, I don't think that'll get cut, but I did cut it from the first time I do that second chorus. I cut it out there because it was sitting right on the solo, like the last one was sitting right when you start the solo. So I'm pretty sure that one's going to go, and then I'll just bring them in for the second chorus, the second version of the second chorus at the end, because it'll just give a little extra something. We'll see. We'll see. But I think we have a good path. Let me just go back to this other solo. Is it on one? And then we have this other bit. So the guitar may be on one speaker, and the exciter that'll be on another. That'll be coming in on one speaker too, so that the two of them won't clash. You'll see. At the point of mixing and mastering, having the ability to pan stuff out keeps it from clashing. I've learned that from doing this. It's really awesome. It's like you'll want to have a cool guitar part, and then you forgot. Oh shoot! But I vamp and sing right there on the out. What am I, it's clashing. It's still cool, but it's like clashing. And then you just pan the guitar, or if it's some kind of weird little vocal that you can pan, if it's the main vocal, that'll be down the center. You'll pan the guitar to the left or right. Suddenly it sits in the mix and it's not interfering with the vocal, and it's giving you what you want. I don't know why. Something about panning. Maybe it's something that our perception cleans up our perception of the track, gives a better sound stage. I have no idea. I always think of it as in your mind, the instruments are sitting in space, kind of like if you were looking at a band playing in your living room. But I don't know if everybody sees it that way. But it's an extra bit of sound stage. Okay, so, all right. That felt successful coming back in here and getting this guitar stuff. I'm going to keep listening to make sure there's not something that's because I can always come back and do it again. That doesn't have to be on camera. You get the idea. But I'm hoping that was good enough. And the next thing I'll do is I'll do like a rough mix of the whole thing, and then it's time to start on Are You Ready? Just re-recording that and making that sound as good as the rest of these tracks. During the time that I'm recording that, the other two songs get written, and then I'll quickly get through those. The album is done, and I can start up another one. All right, next time.